Mad Lions are fighting for survival in this series. They only managed 3 rounds on their map choice of Overpass, and Complexity did look dominant indeed. Will be Complexity to start off on the T side. It is, of course, their map choice, so Mad Lions get to decide that they want to start on CT. GGBet odds would indicate that Complexity are the heavy favourites in this matchup, and I would not disagree with that at all. Pilski pistol round has kicked off, and for now, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Poison continues to put in the good work with the pistols, and maybe even can find himself another 4K here, because it's probably going to be quite necessary. He's only got the backup of Rush left. Rush is working his way in through Connector. Asilian not prepared for Rush in hell. Poison's got himself a third. Complexity in the mid-round, slow things down and find a lot of success.
Well, it's on Shush. The man's got a kit. Complexity just split up, putting their back to some corners. Rush in particular might have been close enough to hear that drop. And now a little bit of a shift over from Complexity, making their way through ramp room. Shush has definitely heard Poison sprinting along there, and he's going to drop down the vent actually, but Rush already in position. Actually forfeits that advanced ground. Now a timing for Shush.
Poison fakes the plant, but Shush will not be baited in. He knows there's plenty of time for Poison to play with. And this comes down to who hits a better headshot, really. Shush is going to be the one to do it. And Mad Lions get themselves a pistol round. It was a bit of a touch and go thing for a moment, but hey, as long as you get over the line.
Yeah, that's a little sloppy, unfortunately. Just giving him the opportunity to be able to get into a little bit of a better position. Once you're taking some fights out in that lower bomb site, if you can get into windows, that's one of those positions where you can sort of navigate your way around, take some different angles, take some aim tools, and with that USP, anything's possible, man, on that pistol. Either way, straight into a pause.
Not too much to look at on the scoreboard just yet. Poison did have a nice pistol round, but couldn't clutch it in the end. Would have picked up where he left off, really, from Overpass, had he been able to win that round, but not the case. Still an investment from Complexity here. It's a force buy through. AK in hand for Config. It's the hero AK, but it's not the AK that's going to make the early impact. Blame catching Roy. And already Complexity have a numbers advantage. The weaker looking buy, of course, the CT side, are always susceptible in a round like this.
Got that AK on Config, already a man advantage for Complexity. So they start to make their way through ramp room now. Cillian's going to hold off. Falls off the angle, starts to make his way into lower, but the T's hot on his heels. Nice opener for the man, but will he be traded out 1-for-1? He gets some decent value out there, and he's bought enough time for the rotations to come in. Shush already in position with the XM in windows. We were just talking about it.
Config needs to be careful of what's going on behind him. He'll deal with Shush, but this is the critical kill, and he's gotten it. Puts him all the way down to 11 HP, does Acor, but Config, the man with the impact weapon, has made the impact. Innocent, a 1-on-2 for him. Bomb plant does go down for Complexity. Another clutch required for Mad Lions to get over the line. But even if they do win here, it'll be a costly round indeed. Config will be a pretty routine kill. Just peeking for a bit of info, but Blame F, full HP, is another question. No smoke available for Innocent, but he does have a defuse kit. Can start to challenge, pushing forward. Blame F just sliding backwards and forwards across the door. Innocent taps the bomb. Big spray onto Blame F, but he really just has to play the timer now. And Innocent, he's not sticking the defuse. Blame, he's desperately trying to get him out, but it's going to be won by Blame. That's huge. He's just mind gamed it. He hasn't even had to do anything, Pilski, and he's won the round.
At the same time, though, no players surviving for Complexity there. They're going to be able to reinvest AKs and armor and Galils, but their money will be very shaky, and you see the reinvestment coming in straight away for Mad Lions. Still in this awkward situation, it's teetering on the edge. Either one of these teams could start to take control of the economic game. Wall of smokes out here for Complexity in this anti-eco round. Plenty of players in position to try to spam away. Only one making it down in towards Secret.
One is enough, though, sometimes. And particularly when it's Config, he's been a player that's able to do a lot of impact in the first map and seems to have brought that across here into the second as well. Fair bit of util usage from Complexity up on outer, but really focusing on what's going down on the B bomb site. They're going to walk their way in. At the moment, really, it's just Rush that's kind of keeping Mad Lions interested in what's happening on the upper side of the map, while Complexity just take all of this territory down on beat. This is going to look like a pretty free round for Complexity, I dare say. Mad Lions might even elect to take a save. See what happens. No bomb plant just yet from Obo. But I think Mad Lions are a bit too late on this rotate.
Yeah, the retake's going to be a little too one-dimensional here. They haven't got any control of decon or windows. Can't really get anyone down the vent. Very hard to complete these retakes just through Megaton. Can kind of run into a bit of a crossfire. Already they're dropping a couple of players. They're trying to force the issue, but you just see the difficulty with doing that. There's just too many angles from Complexity to peak from when they try to commit through Megaton. And I dare say, Jordan, you're probably right. They probably should have just held on to all of this weaponry and tried to do some damage in the next round.
Innocent's been spotted. Don't know if Complexity are going to go over eager for the hunt, but Innocent essentially walks right into the trap Poison was setting. And 2-1 the scoreline for Complexity. In the end, Mad Lions get nothing out of the retake, and they lose all of their guns. That's about as good as most of Tech's guys' comments, to be quite honest with you. No shade, no shade.
Just going to be the single save here for Mad Lions, and already off to a bit of a rough start. 4Spy gets across the line for Complexity. And to be fair, look, the pistol probably shouldn't have gone their way in the first place if Shush hadn't been able to get that timing. Really, it's up to this next gun round for Mad Lions. Complexity's money's not fantastic just yet. But this will be the round you'd expect them to hold on to 4 or 5 weapons. I think the only way that doesn't really happen is if they do go towards ramp room here.
Yeah. And even if they do, to be honest, Complexity have been pretty good at trading things down, so expect it to turn into anything too dangerous. Poison is exploring on his own, and that's dangerous with this many players hanging around. The USPs do find their mark. That's an AK from Mad Lions.
That could do a little more damage. But Complexity making the right call. You do have Blame, who was poking around outers earlier. Actually cleaning up the majority of these players. Not even sure if he's going to have to go down here. Well, that is 2 kills for Mad Lions with a full save. I'd say that's a pretty decent outcome for them. Does force Complexity to reinvest a little bit of extra money into this round.
Yeah, well, one thing that we did notice on Overpass was that Complexity wasn't able to get through rounds cleanly, but they seemed to win pretty much all of the rounds anyway.
At the same time, though, it's not really a fair contrast because they were on CT when they were front running last time around. And CT side is definitely a little harder to keep that money really solid. First buy for Mad Lions, very limited utility. Already at 140 on the clock, they have almost no grenades left. Complexity just taking things relatively slowly. Off angle for A-Core. Does work out for him, actually. That's going to be a key pick.
And Complexity going to hunt for the trade here as well, which is going to give A-Core another chance. He's going to get away. Just dove straight down the ramp. A bit of a strange round for Complexity, really just filtering out across the map, looking for picks one by one. And, well, end of the day, Mad Lions are good enough to at least deal with that.
It's a little better start for them on Nuke, Jordan.
Much
5 alive in the CT side. And this is what I was talking about, you know, when I was saying in the death segment that Mad Lions couldn't really play their game. When you had such a massive individual performance from from Poison and some of the other Complexity players in the previous map, it's very hard to get yourself rolling on that T side of Overpass. And the game was just over in the blink of an eye. Here on Nuke, 5 alive in that last round, some of these individuals are starting to get warmed up on Mad Lions, and we know they do have a really good core of players that can compete at this level, but they just need that confidence and that comfortability.
Yeah, Config close with the Deagle, does get a shot through the smoke, and that's going to be the end of Rowie. So, Mad Lions, particularly with all the damage that's done now to Innocent as well, cannot rest on their laurels. Config desperately wanted that rifle, but he can't pick it up, and it's going to cost him his life in the end.
And name of the game here for Complexity really is just damage. And I think the main man who's looking to inflict it is Rush. He's creeping around in lowers. If he is able to make something happen down there, he could potentially find a timing onto one of these CTs. I think Complexity is actually angling the right way here. They're going towards this ramp room. There's no one here. They can go safely into lower. I think the key player really is Rush. The man needs to control that vent rotation as well as Secret. If he can get some nice angles onto some of these CTs as they come down Secret and come down the vent and choose his timing wisely, this could actually be a Complexity round, but it's not going to be easy.
Well, Rush takes a peek back into the bomb site. Now he walks right into the sight line of 2 Mad Lions players.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily his job to clean out the site there. No, he's trying to help out the team, but he needs to hold on to that key position over towards the vent. Obviously, at that point in the round, it's Mad Lions. Fair play to them. They're getting quite active. They're double walking down Secret. That's not really something that you can anticipate. End of the day, though, it is just a round with a couple of pistols. They did get a little damage. So Complexity, not going to be too bothered by that. Now going to be moving into their gun round. But they're going to need a couple gun rounds back-to-back here, Jordan, on this T side to try and break down the CT money that Mad Lions have built up, because they've had some very clean rounds in the last few. Let's see if they can continue on this good streak and actually make a great game out of this. Last map left us wanting a little bit, and already Acor in the previous gun round was having some good impact, and again here he's found the opening pick for Mad Lions, and that's dangerous for Complexity. Once he starts getting comfortable, it's a lot more difficult of a team to beat. Config down in lower. Gets that key pick, is actually going to cause some rotations here. A lot of players in towards the ramp room, and Roy, that's a good rotation timing.
Bombs been found now as well from Mad Lions. Complexity seem all over the place at the moment on the T side. Config, well, he got a bit of work done early in the round, but how much more can he do? So he's just watching the smoke, waiting for that push, and it's going to be too easy. It's quite routine in the end for Mad Lions. I wonder if Complexity are going to change things up off the back of those couple of rounds.
Again, 4 alive for Mad Lions. Now heading into an anti-eco. Their money is very healthy on this CT side. They want to keep it that way. Can't afford to be dropping an extra couple of guns to the Deagles. Really cruising along quite nicely here. Acor in particular, these last couple of gun rounds, has been finding some of those openers. And those AWP picks with on the CT side really take the edge off a little bit, let off on some of the pressure. You're playing from an advantageous position right off the bat.
Instead, he wins the race this time for Complexity, wanting to make sure they don't lose too many players early, but there goes Config. It is just a pistol buy for Complexity, but I think in the context of where the CT economy is right now, it's still pretty important for Complexity to be getting some work done in a round like this. Playing with the Deagle might have been the one to do it. Asilian does get away, though. He'll scurry back into B. Play from the ramp. Rush actually trying to chase him down, but he's making too much noise. Poison trades well. There's actually an opportunity now for a bomb plant here.
Again, it's another one of these rounds.
Oh,
Ooh.
My God. Where's that come from?
Bombs dropped on lower, though, and Mad Lions, they have some critical positions towards Decon and back of sight. What a peek from Shush. Obo's got himself an AWP, but that off angle's a little too good. Mad Lions, they do recover, but got dicey there for a second, and definitely much more expensive than the last couple of rounds. A couple of guns taken out of the hands of Mad Lions.
Yeah, Complexity just got to keep chipping away like that. Really crisp stuff from Obo.
Sharp shooting. Well, name of the game here for Complexity at this point in time really is just keep putting in damage and then try to have those 2 gun rounds back to back where you can break that CT economy, and all of a sudden, these last couple of rounds, it feels like Mad Lions is really in control of this game, and don't get me wrong, they are. But just 2 gun rounds is what Complexity needs. A very fast Annex split here.
I like this change up from Complexity. Things have not been working for them when they've been playing that pick and split kind of gameplay. Now you've got a bit of an execute, a bit of a set strat, and Complexity have found the opener.
Yeah, I thought, because I couldn't see the radar, that was going to be Annex split, but they actually wall of smoked and then exploded off Annex roof, and they've wrapped all the way heaven while going into Secret, and Poison's still got lobby control. He's going to be challenged here in a second.
Well, they might well end up going pretty nicely for Poison. No AWP in hand, but the AK is more than enough. Headshot gets rid of Shush, and he's going to put the molly down here, which is going to prompt Acor to push forward. It's a horrible situation for Mad Lions, and Complexity have full control of the entire map, apart from lobby. One plan will go down on beat. I really like that from Complexity because it was quite evident that what they were running and trying to do was having no real effect. So they needed to adapt here on the T side, and they did.
Yeah, it's one of those 6 set pieces on the T side where, you know, you go for those wall of smokes, but it's a different variation. And I think that is the sign of a team that's well drilled and well practiced, because, you know, usually you'll see that conditioning initially of just the build up of certain strats, and then you run different variations. But that to me feels like a call that's predicated on how Mad Lions is playing. You run a specific variation of a strat that you feel like has a good likelihood of success.
Yep.
And they call it, and it works perfectly.
Quick tack timeout from Mad Lions. Bit of chit-chat about. Wondering what just hit them. So, I guess a bit of a turning point in the first half. If this next round goes over to Complexity, they'll start to build themselves back on up, and Mad Lions will start to struggle for responses because their economy will start to bleed.
Yeah, they at least held on to that gun. But definitely running out of cash. Not a whole lot of loss bonus. And as for Complexity, pretty decent round from them. Plenty of players surviving. So they're looking to head into this next gun round with strong money already. Crack that 2 gun rounds in a row sort of situation, force Mad Lions on that single save. That's where the T-side economy starts to build up, and what was a dominant couple of rounds for Mad Lions turns into this situation where if Complexity gets this gun round across the board, they're very much in control once again. Another set strat for Complexity.
It's another different strategy as well that Mad Lions haven't seen just yet. The play onto the A bomb site. Blame, he's just going to lock down lobby. The action's in A, and everyone's dying all over the place. It's an absolute flurry of frags on the kill feed. That round is over really before it begins.
And that's just the hard set piece for Complexity, and you just see the strength of how well drilled they are with those strats. All of those Mad Lions players are in position. You saw all of those fights come out straight away. You know, there's 2 to 3 players up here in the lobby. There's someone spamming in through Annex. It's not like the CTs are in bad positions or are super unprepared for this upper rush, but the strategy is so well designed that you're seeing, you know, the observer switch to the CT povs of some of these CT players. They're full white. They're fighting in mollies. They've got multiple Ts running at them on awkward angles. And although Mad Lions are in okay positions in upper there, they just can't hold it.
That's the beauty of Counter-Strike sometimes. You can do everything right and still not win the round.
Just shoot them, lol.
Well, if only it was so easy. Then I might be a pro player. What do you mean, You got something to say to me, Pilsky? Let's put it out on the air.
Not the best CS player, Jordan, but you're not bad at tanks.
You wouldn't even know.
No. Nope, that's a good start. Roy's got a pick with that Deagle. And response from Complexity is straight out of door. Got the option to vent drop.
Well, good entry into the A-bomb site in the end from Complexity. Could have been a bit dangerous. Oh, he does have the AK in hand.
Yeah, still could be. Asilian's wrapping in through lobby, but another smoke smartly put down on towards Annex here. Complexity, they don't rush the plant, but actually the spam through the smoke, quite nice for Roy. Now he's going to consider repositioning, but instead we'll just wait out the smoke. Cillian now creeping into upper.
Oh, if Cillian gets one on the rush, that opens it up. Obo's low on HP, 45. And he takes an Angel. They'll know exactly where he is now. Flash available for Obo. He's going to have to try and clutch this out 1-on-2. Taps are coming through from a Cillian. The peek is there from Obo, but he thinks the bomb is being defused. And Mad Lions, how have they come away with that round? Complexity, they were poised to start running away with the half, and they've just let it slip again.
And you can just see that's the kind of thing that wouldn't have happened on Overpass, you know? I don't think Mad Lions individually ever got comfortable enough to start pulling off some of those plays that we know they're capable of. But now some of the individuals for Mad Lions really starting to show up to this game, and you're seeing some sharp shooting, some big impact individually. From Cillian in particular, that's quite an impressive performance.
Perhaps a bit more of a grind for Complexity than they had anticipated here on Nuke.
Much better game this time around, Mac was right.
So far.
Damn him and his longer break. He's going to be able to really kick back and relax.
Damn that guy and his mustache.
Stupid sexy Flanders. He's got a different variation of that outside control for Complexity. Left side wall of smokes as well as that warehouse smoke. And Config is going to be the main man for Complexity to try to find an opening here. What a cheeky spot from Roy. He's got a pretty good read on what's happening. Knows Complexity wants to try to either wrap or it's a lurk. He's cleaned out that lurk player. Rest of Complexity in towards upper now.
They're into the bomb site. It's not going to be quite so easy to get a bomb plant down, but as long as Annex is covered off, they should be able to.
Yeah, Mad Lions has got them in a bit of a soft contain. They've got a lot of map control of Annex as well as Heaven now, but none of Lobby.
Oh, Obo's going to eat a grenade for breakfast. Maybe that's the breakfast of champions. Let's see what happens. Obo still trying to hold on to the bomb site. Mad Lions yet to make this recontest happen, but they start to filter their way through. There's a smoke to obscure some of the vision of the Complexity players, and we're just not really seeing any frags come through from Complexity. Time, though, is of the essence, and Blame, he's stepping up at the moment. Acor will shut it down. Defuse is there. Time was getting pretty close, but Mad Lions knew what they had to do.
Been a while since I saw that one-way smoke thrown by the CTs to try to get them coming out Heaven. Get some favorable angles over towards the door, which can be a difficult angle to be challenging. That's nice. Very creative from Mad Lions. Complexity, this is looking pretty rough for their economy, Jordan. They're starting to run out of steam a little bit, and Mad Lions, they've had a couple of streaks of rounds on this CT side, 2 little streaks in fact, whereas Complexity really relying on the set plays to get them across the line. Are they going to fall back on one yet again? It's the outside wall of smokes. Flash to send some of these players towards that ladder base area, but the trades are starting to favor Mad Lions. And already from the get-go, they're quite set up for this kind of a play. A lot of players towards outer here for them. They're just able to trade down. Seems like Mad Lions is reading Complexity quite well this time.
Definitely adapting on the fly, aren't they? Obo, though, could still be a pain. A little bit of a thorn in the side.
You usually don't see like 2 to 3 players this committed to outside quite quickly. Even had that additional player up in towards Heaven. So initial response is good from Mad Lions, but they still have to close out this favorable situation for themselves. This is where Complexity are going to start looking for gaps, looking for openings. Poison putting some pressure on ramp, trying to draw some rotations, and it does draw those rotations away from outside, which means Obo's able to slip down in towards lower. There's no rotations down here. No one in lower for Mad Lions.
Obo's being very careful as he works his way down. Cillian starting to go down the ladder, but Obo's prepared. That's a big kill for Complexity to get, but now where do they go from here? This is going to send them scurrying. Not only them, but Mad Lions all over the map. Bomb! That's the bomb! 22 seconds, Complexity have to retrieve it. Innocent is 1 HP. Poison can't do it alone. Mac 10, too weak. Acor survives on 2. Innocent survives on 1.
That was actually a really good mid-round from Complexity, though. I know that Mad Lions survived with 3 alive, but Obo just gets that pick in the vent. Blame F tries to wrap Heaven. Poison starts going in towards Hut. The man's got his work cut out for him because he's got a Mac 10. But that got really close. All three of those players on Mad Lions toward upper, but was sort of caught out in transition after that pick comes down in towards lower from Complexity. And they almost got that one across the line.
If Obo wins the one-on-one, or if he just walks into the B bomb site, completely different story.
Yeah.
This time, Innocent will take the challenge. It's actually Shush to find the frag. Molly's doing a lot of work right now for Mad Lions, and oh dearie me, Complexity really are struggling to get into the A bomb site. Blames the last alive.
Gonna get smoked off towards Dort. Could try and jiggle around it, and he does. He knows he needs to cut some corners here to try and win this 1-on-3, but with the Galil, don't think he's going to be able to get it done. Get spammed down through the vent. Gave it a good crack, though. And Mad Lions now starting to reactively shut down some of these set plays with just good utility usage and good positioning. See the Molotovs. There's so much Complexity have to contest with, trying to push into this upper bomb site. Multiple mollies. You hear the flashes just going off right and left. But Shush, playing on top of that hut, doesn't get blind, gets a kill with that Molotov. Another molly lands right in front of the hut as Complexity are executing. Just solid shutdown from Mad Lions.
Half really slipping away from Complexity now. We're into the last round.
Yeah, at the same time, though, they've got 5 rounds, and they definitely were a little bit more solid on that CT side of Overpass. We'll see if that does work out here on Nuke. I think someone that was very impactful on Overpass is obviously Poison. But here on the Nuke T side can be a little bit harder to find some of those angles with the AWP. And I'm not sure Complexity have really had the money for it most of the time. And you're not really going to want it if you're running more of this faster style with the set plays again. Acor's found an opening with that AWP to kick things off here for Mad Lions. They've already got that additional player down towards lower. That's Roy.
It's going to be a rough angle to clear for Poison. I'm not sure he's even going to connect, collect it even.
Yep, that's an 88-4 kind of moment.
It's pretty unfortunate for Asilian. Really needed the headshot there. Speaking of, Roy has copped one. Luckily it was through a wall. Rush is charging forward, and Obo gets the spam through the door. This is Complexity getting into the B bomb site, and they're probably finding themselves a 6th round now. Acor, a 1-on-4. 2 very low HP players, and he has dealt with Blame. If he gets one more shot onto Obo, it could have been something interesting, but in the end, still a pretty interesting first half, all things considered. 9-6 the scoreline, but this time it's favouring Mad Lions.
Filled with desire, head down, but no, I can't deny it. Life is fun when you're a liar.
You and I, we've been friends for a long time now. Always have a good time whenever we go out. But you've been calling me up all the time and sending me signs and giving me them eyes. And you've been saying that you found the one, texting me junk and you wanna talk, but you can't say why. I can't get there and you know I've tried. You know I don't wanna waste your time. City lights, I'm looking in your eyes, but I can't say why. Doesn't feel right to call you mine. You know I don't wanna waste your time. I can't get there and you know I've tried, but I can't say why. like I just wanna time back time. I'm choked up, tell me how do I say this right? Cause you've been calling me up all the time and sending me signs and giving me them eyes. And you've been saying that you found the one, texting me drunk and you wanna talk but you can't say why. I can't get there and you know I've tried. You know I don't wanna waste your time. City lights, I'm looking in your eyes, but I can't say why. Doesn't feel right to call you mine. You know I don't wanna waste your time. I can't get there and you know I've tried, but I can't say why.
Well, Mad Lions off to a much better start here on Nuke. It is a 9-6 scoreline. The odds still very much favouring Complexity, and we could well see Nuke shift back the other way. It's one of those temperamental maps sometimes, can be a tale of two halves. But Complexity with a bit of work to do.
Yeah, at the same time, though, you look reflectively back on Overpass and sort of remember that Complexity much stronger on that CT side when the individuals got rolling, whereas Mad Lions did sort of fall flat a little on their T side. Let's see if they've got themselves warmed up enough after that strong CT side. Very quick in towards this outside area, towards CT Red, but a lot of Complexity players actually here and doing some damage, Jordan.
Oh, indeed. Blame, he'll drop. Doesn't quite connect onto the head the second time. Rowie doing some good work at the moment, but he'll eventually be forced away by Obo. 3-on-2 though. Complexity do want to slow things down a little bit here. Down into the B bomb site goes A-Core, but Asilian definitely pressuring at the moment. Trying to pincer Config, who's dropped down. And they do kind of manage to do that. A-Core gets behind him, but in the meanwhile, Obo does catch Asilian. So while Mad Lions will get a bomb plant, it will end up being a 2-on-1.
Obo is just flying around looking for the T. Does find him, and Rush now trying to join up. Trade potential is decent here for Complexity, but they need to make sure they pick their gut fight at the right time.
Well, they haven't done that. Now it's on to Obo, but hey, who needs to trade when you can hit headshots like that?
That's like definition of Zuma, the way he played that round. He was just flying around everywhere, air strafing like crazy, instantly peeking the Ts and taking them down one at a time. Beautiful to watch. So full of energy, this man. I wish I could go back in time.
Oh, dude.
Nowadays, you know, it's just a struggle to get out of bed.
Yep.
Remember the days when you ate something and, like, it would just agree with you?
And you didn't feel sick afterwards? Yeah, I remember those.
You got a bite for both sides this time around. Mad Lions doesn't want to let go of this one.
Absolute boomer casters.
It's true. And this is quite a good buy for Mad Lions. Roy's already off to a good start. This man's popping off today. Having some pretty big impact kills. Mad Lions, they're just pumping the brakes after finding that initial kill over there towards credit card. I love this. They're going towards ramp room after getting that pick towards outside. Because you can see the reaction from Complexity based on that. Obo is that elbow player who's been pulled to heaven, which leaves a pretty big gap in the defense that Mad Lions takes advantage of. Now down in towards lower. Roy turns into a bit more of a lurk player towards outside. But Obo's dealt with him, so now Complexity getting on for this retake.
Yeah, just lurking down the ladder goes Obo. Complexity starting to get themselves into position. Couple of dangerous weapons in Mad Lions' hands. The AK for A-Core is the key, but Asilian's getting work done. P250 even. A 2 for 2, that's not yet enough for Complexity. They do have some smokes to chuck onto the bomb. Blame F has to do it himself now, and I wonder if it's just a little bit more than he can afford to bite off. Seems like he agrees. It's going to be the round over. Mad Lions do come away with it. Blame definitely does not want to be dropping this AK.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Roy just found that one pick on outside with the AK and armor. He takes the duel towards credit card, pulls the rotation off of ramp room, and Mad Lions takes full advantage. Get that bomb down in lower, and even, like, that could have gone even better for them. A lot of nuke, man.
Yeah, it is, but I'm sure some of the numbers are much more inflated on other maps.
Yeah. Got that map, Mirage. That's been played a few times, here and there.
Bit too many.
Well, Complexity doesn't want to let go just yet. Still trying to claw by their fingernails, hold on to this earlier stage of the half. Very clear that Mad Lions is in control, but the money's not quite there for them yet. So if Complexity gets around across the board here, could put Mad Lions in a bit of a difficult situation. Very slow start to things. Mad Lions, similar to the CT side, there wasn't actually a whole lot of pushing from them on the CT side either. Same on the T side, just really taking their time, waiting for pushes. Now throwing their utility, the wall of smoke across outside. Innocent just holding on to lobby from a very passive position, and Mad Lions starting to commit across in towards lower. No players down there for Complexity.
Poison continuing to challenge with the scout. This could be a dangerous game if Mad Lions close the distance, which they more or less have, but Poison, at least for now, escapes up the ladder. There's a lot of map control on outer right now for Mad Lions.
Yeah, didn't commit to secret there. Only Roy just down there poking and prodding, and they're actually going to wrap
They've only got
ramp
30
room.
seconds. I wonder if they're falling into the same trap that they did on Overpass, which is running the clock down a little bit too far. Obo can't get too much done. It's going to have to be a quick play up into the A bomb site. Complexity can still hold this rush. He's doing it himself. Double kill with the Deagle, and that might just be enough to hold on to the round for Complexity. But they are overwhelmed. Now it's on to Blame to deny the bomb plant. 9 seconds. Grenade to go through. That won't kill Innocent. The pop flash here too. But bomb plant is secured. Blame looking to clutch it. Innocent certainly watching the angle. And this is just a case of who spots who first. Blame's a little bit better. 3 kills, but it was really Rush that opened it up for Complexity with the 2 on the Deagle. And they do manage to scrounge together around. It's going to be a real brawl for this second half. You get that feeling.
Yeah, I think Mad Lions, you're right, did run the clock down a lot there up against that force. So they were trying to get a bit of a read on whether it was an eco or a force and just wait out some aggression for Complexity. That's not really the problem with that round. I feel like the problem came in once they threw that outer wall of smoke. And it didn't seem like they really committed to anything, you know? They could have just committed towards that ramp room area and wrapped into lower with Roy poking down secret. Or they could have committed to upper. And I know it's hard to sort of pre-plan those situations. You want to try and get the picks and reactively choose where you want to go based on where the CTs are. But they were just too indecisive. And at the end of the day, it ends up costing them. They rush things a little bit as the clock gets down. You can't just change your mind 2 or 3 times when you've only got 50 seconds left. At the same time, though, you know, Rush doesn't get a 2K with the Deagle or a few more duels go the way of Mad Lions. They probably still could have scraped that one together, but definitely could have just been cleaner for Mad Lions if they were a little bit more decisive in the mid-round there. Either way.
Still hanging in the balance this half. Plenty to play for in this round in particular. Both teams low on the economy.
This is the critical one. And Poison's got himself on the AWP, which could make a really massive amount of difference. Mad Lions only with the 2 AKs. Rest of the weaponry a little bit lackluster for them. And Mad Lions again going back towards outside. They've still got these smokes. Can throw the wall of smoke on the fly if they wish. Actually, a smoke to front of door initially, which isn't really having much impact because config's on that aggressive line. There's the wall of smoke across outside. So Complexity don't really have a whole lot of information on whether Mad Lions is committing to lower. Will this pull a rotation from Complexity? It will be config actually slipping down vent. So Mad Lions, they've got the desired reaction. Now what do they do to try to close this round out? So smoke onto Annex, flashes into upper, but they're going to commit ramp room.
Obo tucked away in the corner. Will have some help as well, but it's largely Obo actually getting the job done so far. Blame not putting too much in there just yet. Poison's good for one on the cross at least as well. So far so good for Complexity. Their end of the bargain is being upheld. Config with that UMP just hiding away. And Mad Lions not checking that off angle, not expecting it. Roy, 1-on-3 has a fair chunk of work to do here, but with only 20 seconds again, it's Mad Lions that are going to suffer from the time ticking away. Have to push aggressively to try and make something happen. Blame will finish it off, and that's a much better round for the CT side, building the money up just a bit.
So there you go, Complexity, they get in the driver's seat here. But I'm liking how Mad Lions are playing at the moment. They're using the utility to sort of push and pull the rotations. And even earlier on, we saw Roy get that pick on outer, and that sort of pulled that rotation, and they tried to abuse it. So I think fundamentally the way Mad Lions is playing is pretty good, but they just need to make the correct decisions in the mid-round and find the gaps and the openings that they're creating and exploit them. That's really the only difference between Complexity and Mad Lions at the moment.
Well, it was a good attempt, I guess, from Mad Lions, but Complexity's too good at dealing with these ecos here on Nuke.
5 alive, that's really good for Complexity. That just makes this task of grinding this game out on the T side for Mad Lions so much harder. Is the CTs having that healthy economy. Means Mad Lions, they need more and more of these gun rounds back to back. I'm keen to see if they just keep playing this slow style and just focus on ironing out that mid-round decision-making, or do they mix things up a little bit more, go for something a little quicker? No wall of smoke on outside. Does look like a lot of players in towards lobby to start things off for Mad Lions. Poison's got a lot of info out of here. Seems like Mad Lions getting ready for an execute into this upper site, but with Poison having this much info, I think Complexity are going to feel pretty safe to just sit here.
Still a fair bit of utility to play with for Complexity as well. As incendiaries get thrown down at the right time, it could be the end of the push for Mad Lions, but good entry onto Config does really open the site up. Roy gets another one onto Rush, and that's it. That's the A-bomb site open.
It's good set play from Mad Lions. Just finding their timing. Haven't really gone quickly into the upper bomb site before, so the read wasn't really there for Complexity. They're playing a pretty normal two-man setup in that upper site, but a little bit segmented off from each other, so when Mad Lions win both of those entry duels, it just looks very, very easy for them.
Indeed. Smart decision to save for Complexity as well. This will enable them to have a really good buy next round as well.
I'm really digging how Mad Lions is playing this T side though, Jordan.
Yeah.
This kind of thing we don't get to watch too much in Asia.
Hopefully it continues. Might end up seeing a map 3 if it does. What's your sentiment at the moment? Which way are you leaning?
I think it's just, I don't know actually. I think it could still go either way.
Yeah.
I feel like Mad Lions, it's really, they're the ones that are kind of setting the pace in this game. And it's a very slow pace. So it's up to Complexity to either try to respond to whatever they're doing a little bit more correctly, or just try to get a little bit more aggressive and actually make some things happen. Be assertive rather than just reacting to what Mad Lions is doing.
Oh, that's a good flash. Obo under a bit of pressure now. Roy has got himself into Garage, but spotted out. The info's there for Complexity, and now he can't really cross into Annex, which makes this push into the A-bomb site all the more difficult for Mad Lions. Shush does at least manage to win a duel, but he needs to be aware of Poison wrapping in behind him.
Oh, that's a key kill.
Yeah, Poison throwing that grenade gave away his own position. Asilian does actually catch Rush on top of the hut. Now Config, if he pushes out and loses this duel, it's potentially all over for Complexity, but if he wins it, he finds the bomb. And so now Shush has tenfold more work to do.
Trying to 1v2 with 4 HP. Definitely got his work cut out for him, especially with the config sitting on this angle. Have to see like a vertical diagonal flick, to be honest, from Shush to be taking him out on this line. Yeah, no way you can deal with that. Nice round from Complexity. Mad Lions, they try to flash Roy through the smoke on outer there to try to get him that duel with the player on Annex, but once he doesn't actually convert that kill, that's where that round starts to go south, because even though you did see Complexity pulled from Annex, as well as a secret player trying to focus on Roy, who was on that Outers warehouse area, Mad Lions don't quite hit that 5 to 7 second window where they need to come out hard and try to exploit that. And especially when he doesn't get that kill, that window gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and it's much easier for Complexity to just shut that one down.
Faster looking round this time from Mad Lions. It's not worked out well at all. Poison and Blame set up to deal with the push on outer. And Complexity, this might be actually the round that they really needed to regain some very good solid control of that money.
Yeah, and actually, similar to the last half, Mad Lions got a bit of a read on that outer play that Complexity was trying to throw on their T side and set up in a similar way and shut it down very similarly to what Complexity's doing right now. Complexity very much ready for that wrap toward warehouse, anticipating it with some good positioning, and they've shut down this round for the most part. Mad Lions seeing if they, with some individual timings, can dig themselves out of a ditch, but with Innocent going down there in the vent and A-Core being so low on HP, it's going to be quite hard. And I think you're right, Jordan. This is where the tides start to turn. Complexity, they break Mad Lions' money. They get ahead in terms of the round count, and they cement themselves a very strong economy on this CT side.
I mean, a good economy is one thing, but they haven't really built much of a round gap, so there isn't that much of a buffer at the moment still for Complexity.
Well, they're about to get it, but at the same time, like when they're ahead right now, and when they have this strong CT money, basically what it means is just that Mad Lions, the way that they're playing, very slow and very like with purpose, it basically just means that Mad Lions just have to make more correct decisions, and they have to take advantage of these opportunities that they're trying to create and actually hit the mark a little bit more consistently than they have been, because it's been very back and forth, you know? It's felt like it's Mad Lions for 1 or 2 rounds, then Complexity back in it.
That's a very nice grenade. Oboe, it's a free farm almost for him, looking for the ace. He wants to charge it down. He's got the bomb, lockout in hand, and he's managed it. That's an ace for Oboe against the eco round of Mad Lions. Did all 500 of the damage there as well.
That's a great stat pad.
Did it
You'll
all
love to see
himself.
it.
Indeed.
Imagine getting manhandled by that man. To be honest, Jordan, I feel like you and Oba have a pretty similar stature.
Yeah. We'd take you on. Him, my boy.
All right, attack pause for Mad Lions. Digging deep in the playbook and looking for an answer. But I'm not sure there really is a simple solution to what Complexity's doing at the moment. They're very much mixing up their setups, reacting quite nicely to whatever Mad Lions is throwing at them for the most part. Let's see what Mad Lions has come up with. No AWP. It's going to be this 5 rifle style.
Well, Blame. Did he get spotted?
Definitely. And he's just going to piece it straight down secret. Doesn't want anything to do with outers. But at least does have a fair amount of info that there's a couple of Ts out there. So you're seeing Oboe and Config sort of posture towards that Annex side a little bit more. I think Config's actually reverse vent.
Blame's gone on a big long rotation all the way through to ramp room.
I'm keen to see what Complexity's going to do, because they're in some kind of awkward positions. They're very much just sitting around upper. You've got Poison just keeping tabs on outside with that ult. But they don't really have anyone in positions that can kind of make anything happen. Interestingly enough, though, Mad Lions are going to be the ones to come to them. It does look like they're gearing up for an Annex split, so Config in this reverse vet position actually gets mollied out of position and isolated.
Oh, some great entries here from Roy and Asilian helping him out. And Complexity just don't have an answer. It looked like they had the perfect positions to deal with that, but Mad Lions walk into the bomb site and just smash them away. Save time for Complexity. Said it's not over yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering when Complexity is going to get a little bit more assertive here on this CT side. Because that's another round where they, like Blame F, yeah, he's across secret and he's trying to gather some info or try to take a duel if they try to go for that outside wall of smoke and push secret a little bit. But for the most part, Complexity very much just sitting back quite passively, resting on their laurels and letting Mad Lions come to them. And that's an example of when it doesn't really work out. Yes, they had a decent setup, but again, just a great execute, a great set piece makes those couple of key players for Complexity very uncomfortable. Player on outside's trying to duel with a couple of people. Config's out in the open, mollied out and flashed. And the player who's in Rafter, he's trying to deal with players coming out, Hut, Squeaky, and Annex at the same time.
I wonder how many he's got in the backyard, Pilski.
I don't know.
How many do you keep?
Look, I'm not sure. I know you do get those traps where you get like a couple of sticks and you prop a rock up, do a little bit of bait.
Yep.
So you have to go check the traps outside,
Yeah,
see if he's caught any.
Hopefully we've caught some. Bit hungry, so it's nearly dinner time here in Australia.
Yep.
Maybe a kangaroo or two might have wandered into the bigger traps as well.
Yeah, look, we'll take a little bit of a stroll alongside the highway, see if anyone's run any over.
We could pick some up. Yeah, that'd be good.
Just free dinner, really.
Just the way it is, really.
Come on, boys! I got a room!
Sounds like Max got our dinner sorted, Pilski.
He's found one.
Glad to hear it, because he's a mean lad on the Barbie, that Mac. Once he gets the
Undoubtedly.
groove, we'll fill it up.
He does get a little shiny though, especially in front of the Barbie. But that's just some extra seasoning, you know.
Right. Put a bit of that smoky flavoring on, you know.
God.
How's your kangaroo doing?
My kangaroo.
Yeah.
My kangaroos are pretty entertained by this game. It really it appeals to my nerd sense of Counter-Strike brain, you know.
Kindred spirits.
Just the way that this game's going back and forth, just some really nice T-side plays from both sides. A very close game. Really just feels like the battle of two, you know, IGLs and two coaches trying to just stay one step ahead and come up with different set plays. Both of them seem pretty familiar with how to play Nuke to a pretty high level. So this is just it's a fantastic game. Look, it's not terribly exciting in some regards from a viewing perspective. You know, Poison's not running around just shotgun AWPing everyone like Overpass. But it's a solid game of Counter-Strike.
Getting back underway with it fairly shortly, I'm told. Look at that. I mean, it's still a really good second half so far from Complexity. While it looks like Mad Lions are pretty competitive at the moment, if you take into context just the second half, it does look exceedingly one-sided so far.
Yeah. To some extent, I would agree with you. At the same time, though, Mad Lions, they have decent money, I'm pretty sure. And they've got, you know, it's pretty neck and neck in terms of the rounds. So they've still got opportunities to try to win a couple of gun rounds in a row, keep these rounds close. That's where they can try and break that money right towards the end of the half.
Sick double kill with a Deagle for Rush.
That was a pretty critical round. Undoubtedly.
Back underway into round 26. And if you're talking about critical rounds, then I dare say this one will be. Most of the rounds that we're going to see for the rest of this map will be. Particularly for Mad Lions, if they let Complexity get too much further ahead.
Both of the teams a little shaky in terms of the cash, but they have a little bit of cash. For Complexity, it's a couple of these players will probably have to drop over a few weapons. So they've got another buy. As for Mad Lions, they can probably put together another buy. Because they've got a little bit of loss bonus. This is where Blame F gets a little bit more active, moving up around the smoke. That's a fantastic performance from the man.
Oh, doesn't quite manage to hang on for the triple, but he was very close. Cillian up on a spray as well.
Oh,
Poison will trade him down. That's great work.
I was waiting for this, Jordan. I was waiting for Complexity to get a little bit more active, get in Mad Lion's face, rather than just let them set up these slow set plays and try and push and pull those rotations and control the game. Now they've been put into a very uncomfortable position, and it's not going well for them.
Certainly not. Complexity have decided to flex their muscles. Obviously a fair bit of time during that pause to have a think about what they want to be doing. And this time it's caught Mad Lions off guard. Bit of a spanner in the works. Adaptation on the CT side will be enough to get them up to 14. Shush is going to continue to try and put more damage onto the CT economy, at least for the rest of this round. That's all that he can kind of hope for at this moment. Waiting for a push from Complexity, but I dare say he won't be getting it.
Living up to his name. Just chilling behind Annex, man.
Yeah.
And the rough thing about a round like that for Mad Lions is there's really not a whole lot to read into, you know? Just Blame F, being a bit alpha, going for a bit of a push.
Bit of a chat. A chatty daddy. You reckon
I think that's a pretty good description of Blame
of a
F, to
chatty
be
daddy?
honest. Yeah.
Well, Shush is going to definitely not break the world record for distance travelled in any round of Counter-Strike.
True. Definitely not like us along the highway. Looking for a kangaroo. Mad Lion's going to have to break the bank now. And at this point in the half, that's a worrying prospect. Yes, they do have the loss bonus built up. But with the style that they're playing, Jordan, if they lose this round and have to go for a bye in the next, they're really not going to have the utility to go for these slow set plays. They're going to be pigeonholed into something a little different. That might come back to bite them. So Mad Lions would do well to not only avoid match point, but also just try to hold on to control of their economy so that they can keep playing this style on the T side.
Not quite as aggressive of a round on the CT from Complexity this time. A bit more of a standard reserved setup.
Yeah.
And I like down to B.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Floating back up toward the ramp room, though. So I must have expected maybe something happening on outer.
I think Mad Lions is just trying to hit this sharp timing into upper again, it seems. Just waiting around for pushes in the lobby, waiting for that utility to dissipate. I think Complexity's got a better read this time around. Blame F, he's going to chuck a smoke on towards Squeaky Door. Now this wall of smoke across outside. For Mad Lions. Very low time on the clock, really running things down, but Complexity actually don't have a whole lot of information. The Molotov timing is so good from Blame F. He's been everywhere. He throws the Molotov to displace that smoke. Now Obo's got full information.
Poison's in such a good spot as well to stop this rush. He waits for the second. That's excellently done, expertly done from A-Core. And he's given Complexity the advantage. Late in the round, 30 seconds left to go. Mad Lions really do tend to crumble a little bit in these sorts of pressure situations. They're going to have to be quick up onto the A bomb site. Rush certainly wasn't expecting that. Leaves a bit of the job on Config. Well, talk about crumbling. It's not Mad Lions this time. It's Complexity's A defense. I don't know how Mad Lions have made that happen, but they've gotten in. They've gotten a bomb plant down, and they made it look easy.
I was so busy fanboying over how Blame F played that round that I forgot Mad Lions could just come around and win it. The man was legit just running around the map. He was in lowers, then he goes to ramp. Then he smokes door to delay even more time on that uppers hit. And then he goes to ladder base, throws a molly to displace the very late round wall of smoke so that Obo can peek from Annex. And none of that mattered.
It's going to do a bit of economic damage, although, again, I'm not sure how much that's going to matter. Mad Lions are going to be looking to win pretty much all of these rounds from here. That's a loss for Blame, but to be fair, Complexity do have a lot of cash.
They do. And that's just one of those rounds where, like, yeah, cool, man, really sick setup, but if you can't defend us coming into that upper bomb site, if you're not ready for us flying up that uppers ladder, then you're going to be losing the round. That's exactly what happened. Nice work from Mad Lions to be able to turn around that 4-on-5, but at the same time, you could see a couple of those CT players on Complexity a little bit out of position.
Yeah. Rush definitely caught with his pants down.
It's definitely not ideal in that 5-on-4 when you should be pretty well aware of what's clean and what's dirty. Know about clean
Are
and
we
dirty?
still talking about pants?
No. So that's like it's like a concept in Counter-Strike where you get into those mid rounds and
I am aware.
okay. Just checking, Jordan.
I
Just
thought we
checking.
were still talking about the pants, though.
Nah, my pants are clean for the time being. I definitely had a pants change after that overpass game, man.
Well, again, another critical round for Mad Lions. Make this comeback happen. Still possible. Map's not over yet.
All right. Wall of smoke for outside. Again, offset by Blame a little bit. He's thrown a molly there. I'm not sure. Can Poison see toes right now? He can. Not toes, but instead foes crossing through the small gap in the smoke. He's seen all of them running down, and now you see the rotation out. The double rotate. Config straight down the vent. He's got the Molotov to delay. And Obo's also poking around that Megaton position.
Opting not to utilize the molly, rather just to take the aim duel. And in fact, Mad Lions decide to cancel. They're working their way back up.
This is very one-dimensional now, and Poison's going to punish them for it. They're trying to rush through Annex right now, but Rush in the reverse vent position.
Yeah, well, one rush is going to be better than the other. I'll let you figure out which one it was. Blame, still on the bomb site right now, is holding strong. 40 seconds for Mad Lions, so they do have time, but Innocent, well, if he didn't die to Config, he would have died to the molly. It's a 2-on-1, though, as Acor trades down, and the grenade should catch Poison. So for some reason, against all the odds, we're back to a 1-on-1. Obo hanging around up on rafters. He knows the bomb is in his control, but he's not really watching the correct angle at the moment. Acor might be able to get this with a quick headshot, or perhaps Obo will. And 15's up for Complexity. It's match point now for them, and money is in a terrible spot for Mad Lions.
And again, man, Blame just picking the perfect time to chuck the Molotov down, offset that smoke, which allows Poison to count the numbers down into lower. That gets Complexity in a good position in terms of the rotates, in terms of reacting to what Mad Lions is throwing at them. But at the end of the day, it feels like Mad Lions... okay. A little bit of friendly fire right off the start of the round. That's not ideal.
Love tap.
Not ideal at 15-13 when you're facing elimination, or at least being sent into the lower bracket, rather. Either way, though, Mad Lions, they throw that wall of smoke, Roy, straight down into lower, but the rest of them grouping up towards upper. Rush has got his work cut out for him here at this reverse vent position, but an additional smoke being thrown in there by Poison from Heaven, just to keep him safe for a little bit longer.
It'll be a nice round to actually play on top of the hut from, because there isn't really any util for Mad Lions to get him out of position.
Innocent's been pretty good at cracking open this squeaky area. Not this time, though.
Well, Vasilian trades him down. And Poison missing a shot with the AWP. He's got to have a bit more luck on the second, but all of a sudden, again, a one-on-one. Blame has been really good in these clutches, particularly from the rafters position. And he'll be patient. Acor is going to exit. He decides he doesn't want to chance a bomb plant there on 8. Definitely has the time to work the map now.
Pretty nice that Roy actually got that kill in toward lower with a Mac-10. Catches Config off guard a little bit. Another critical frag to be getting.
Money's not very good for Complexity. So
Nice.
if they do lose here, we could go to overtime.
It's a must win, no doubt, but you're right. This is an opportunity for Mad Lions to try to push themselves to OT. Blame, insert that bomb plant. Rushing his way over towards Megaton.
What can he really do, to be honest, man? He's only got a defuse kit, not even a smoke. Acor's making a bit of noise, though. Flash is going to go through control room window. Blame just has to win the one-on-one, and the spray is good so far from Acor. Blame so low on HP. Surely can't win the round from here. Acor finishes it, and Complexity, they had the map in their hands. They've let it slip through, and now it's Mad Lions' opportunity to take this to overtime.
Money's cooked for Complexity. Has to force up a whole bunch of deagles and armor. Scout for Poison. Rush has probably got to go down to MP9. Util. Config's gone Dooley's armor of all things. Mad Lions, pretty good util. Have to go down to a couple of Galils though. But with a few head armorless players, could definitely go okay for the Mad Lions. Once again, gathering info on Outer. Roy's been doing a great job over there. And just taking their time, waiting for some pushes. Now getting these wall of smokes ready in towards Outer. Complexity, though, looking to go for a timing to crunch lobby together. Shush has found that initial kill onto Blame. Now the push comes in from Squeaky Door in towards lobby.
Rush and Config do get a little bit of work done, so there's that push and pull on the map. But Innocent, he's got two. Rush and Config were just charging across to Annex, not hitting the open Squeaky Door. Complexity relying on Poison and Oba, but surely from here there's no way they can salvage this round with a Scout and a Deagle only.
Mad Lions just sticking in pairs very wisely. Going to group up towards Megaton. And they're going to commit down into lower. Poison's got his way down the vent, but with only a Scout, he's definitely got his work cut out for him. Obo retrieves an AK and starts to make his way toward the vent as well.
Little tag from Poison, but a big tag onto him. Obo's got an AK. He's going to have to be the hero here for Complexity, but this double stack is almost impossible to deal with. So Poison finds himself alone with the time against him. Acor cops a bit of damage from that Scout, but this is just so unrealistic for Poison that it's nigh impossible. In fact, it might even be impossible. And so Mad Lions will push it through to the overtime. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with overtime kicking off.
signals, no signs. Girl, you be tripping, no lie, nah. You said you're not set by. I flew in all the way for this. I'm not here to waste your
Back into the game. It's Mad Lions in Complexity, and Mad Lions, they have more or less achieved what I would consider a comeback, being able to get all the way back to 15-15. It was pretty much there for Complexity, but they weren't able to kick it over the line. Now they have more work to do. Starting on the CT side.
I'm pretty sure the HUD's just glitched. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is Sobo's port. I was having a bit of a panic.
Yep.
For no reason, of course. Mad Lions. Quick smokes on towards windows as well as on top of CT red. Now smoking off Annex and looking to potentially try to take some control and emphasis towards outside here.
Yeah, I wonder why Complexity only ran that one really aggressive round. They could have thrown a little bit more of a curveball in. It's again just going to be a bit more of a passive play, but Blame has a lot of work to do. A lot on his plate right now, but he's got the timing perfect. Almost. He really deserved a kill onto Asilian, but Shush does shut him down and keeps his teammate alive. Not even a lick of damage connecting onto Asilian.
He had the right idea and the timing there, but just can't get it done. Now Mad Lions waiting for a mistake from Complexity. Bomb dropped in the open, but Poison slips up secret and finds a pick. Acor punishing Obo from peeking windows there. Mad Lions, they still need to recover the bomb here, Jordan.
They do, but that's not going to be the most difficult of tasks. What Poison does right now is going to be quite an important decision. He's watching the B-bomb site, but he's actually allowed them to get into control room, and I'm not even sure that he's aware of it.
30 seconds on the clock, and it looks like Mad Lions are going to bust straight back into upper. Acor's found that pick in towards lower, and that's the tipping point. They decide to actually commit to lower rather than ring around the Mosey back to upper. Config trying to get in position from secret, but Mad Lions, you can see they're holding all the right angles. Innocent still in the back of lobby. Picks Rush trying to cross to vent. And that's just the strength of this style for Mad Lions. Every single T round, so much purpose. They set the tempo by throwing the utility, choosing where they want to go, and then they read the responses from the CTs correctly. And that's how you end up with a round that doesn't even look close like that, where the Ts are always in the right positions, holding all the right angles.
Indeed.
It's really, really good to watch.
Well, that's a nice grenade. Maybe does a lot of damage to Acor. Blame is, again, just playing around that crate. Nothing too aggressive or over-eager from Complexity just yet. Poison watching the line this time to help Blame out.
It's pretty insane, the consistency of good decision-making from Blame F on this outside area, considering how many different variations Mad Lions have thrown at him. He seems to always be pretty aware of what's going on and trying to make the high percentage. Didn't work out for him last round.
He's going to need to do it once again, but will be forced away by Amoli first. A lot of onus on Blame in this round. Probably good news, to be honest, for Complexity, because he's been so solid today.
Well, another very, very slow round. Complexity not really doing much.
They can't really cross now either. They don't have smokes, and Poison's still watching it with the AWP, but does the timing favor Mad Lions? Poison still posted on the line, looking to get some work done. Obo finds Shush, and exactly crossing like that, Poison gets the freest kill of his life onto Roy. Innocent's having a duel at the moment with Obo, and this round seems to be going exactly the way of the last, but flipped on its head. Complexity may now be the team that's not going to lose a player. Asilian 1 on 5. What a huge clutch it would be if he gets this one done, and he started really well. I thought he was actually going to get that spray onto Blame. But Complexity will garner their 16th.
See if they can double it up. I think Mad Lions looking a touch better on their T side, to be honest. And there's plenty more strats in the back pocket for Complexity. This is their map pick. So once they move on to their T side, I think Mad Lions going to have their work cut out for them. but it's still very much anyone's game. This is so neck and neck. Both teams have some great T sides with a lot of different variations and set plays. This is one of them. Very quick one straight out the door from Mad Lions. Haven't seen this yet.
Complexity have struggled to hold the A-bomb site against plays like this, but maybe not in OT. Maybe they're feeling confident now. Rush does see a couple of his teammates fall, and a lot of pressure actually comes back onto his shoulders as a result. Still has config above Hut, who, as of yet, hasn't been cleared out. Bomb is stuck on the site. That's the danger for Mad Lions. A-Core in Annex could catch Poison if the timing is right. Poison on a bit of an expedition. But now so is A-Core. And I think Poison might get the better of it. He rolls around the corner and he does. 26 HP. Routine shot with the Deagle to the body of A-Core. Boys on a lurk through hell as well. But Complexity well and truly in control of this round. We'll see what Roy can do. He could change the game up. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Good trade though from Rush. Keeps it well in the balance, and Complexity looking confident to finish this off 17-16. Innocent, slow to creep in from Hut. Has a bit of time to work with. Can keep Complexity sweating. Rush is fully flashed, but he'll just bounce away from the aim. Poison finishes it. Complexity, a very good final round, 17-16.
Yeah, look, you said they were struggling to hold upper. It was actually more so when Mad Lions was going and waiting around for a little while and then just hitting that timing in the mid-round where Complexity was having problems. I think it's a little easier for some of those Complexity players to just, hey, I run to this default position, I throw this utility against a Rush to hold it down, I have this reaction. That's a little more straightforward than what Mad Lions has been throwing, going for these mid-rounds in towards upper. And you can see it was a little easier for Complexity to deal with. A lot of people a little bit more comfortable against those rushes. Either way, now it's on Complexity to try to close on their T side. That was a very, very long last half. Very, very slow rounds. So it's been a while since Complexity's been on their T side. Let's see what they've got for us.
Indeed, but they've started off pretty decently. Some damage onto Asilian early on in the piece. Robo looks like he might want to get a bit cheeky through Hut here.
It's a wall of smoke. Roy's over there towards Secret, being mollied off, but Complexity walk back towards lobby side. Looking to hit a timing into ramp or just come out upper.
Shoes tucks himself behind the vent. Surely not in overtime. You don't push this smoke.
Oh, he's just waiting for it to fade. He's a bit closer to the smoke than the T's, but he's punished for it by Poison. Now Innocent sweating bullets at reverse vent. He's full white as well, just cowering in the corner.
They haven't checked him. How have they not checked him, Pilski? How has he gotten away with this? I don't believe it. He's turned into a ghost. He's spooked Complexity.
That's why you can't see him.
But not enough.
He doesn't even have a torso, Jordan. He's just two arms holding an M4. How do you even react to that? And now it's A-Core.
Luckily, he's not armless. He's managed to get himself a kill. A-Core needs the 2-on-1, but he won't get it. Complexity on map point again. What a spooky round.
Yeah. Ooh. Look out. It's a pretty dicey round for Complexity. A lot of moments where it seemed like it was starting to go wrong, but all in all, they do come out hard and get those key trades that they need. And now they're on that match point. It's up to Mad Lions to show the resilience they've been showing all game long. Try to grind 2 back in a row.
This is not an angle that you want to be peeking, I don't think. Not against Poison right now. 30 frags in the map already.
Oh, A-Core usually good in these AWP duels, but you're right. That's just not the kind of peek you want to be taking.
No, not
He's
at all.
peeking from the wrong side.
Oh, and Poison, he gets a second as well. Mad Lions, they're just capitulating at the 11th hour. Complexity now have it on a silver platter. They cannot lose it from here.
One of those situations where it's like the left eye, right eye peak dynamic. And A-Core, unfortunately, maybe sort of gambling that there would be a rifler there instead of Poison holding that angle, perhaps. Doesn't work out for him, and now Complexity just needs to close the 5-on-3, but Innocent trying to dig deep, trying to do some good work here for Mad Lions.
Well, he might be able to do it. Complexity definitely definitely don't want to find a way to lose this round. A lot of util thrown into A, but they're going towards ramp, and there's a double stack from Mad Lions right here. No way, surely they can't hold Complexity. They trade 1 for 1. Innocent gets down to B, but now he's back up to A. They've got no idea where they want to go. Complexity are running all over the map at the moment.
They wait though, throw out that flash, and I think that offsets Innocent's shot. He's gone actually around to Squeaky Door.
Bomb plant's down very quickly indeed. Innocent, though, he is going to get the kill onto Obo, and coming up into heaven is Asilian. He's in front of the Molly Blame. He'll drop. It's a 1v1 for Config, but through the smoke. Innocent keeps it alive. Complexity have found a way to lose that round with a 2-player advantage.
It's not Complexity have found a way to lose the round. That's Innocent, man. As well as a good call from Mad Lions, just trying to stay 1 step ahead there and just gamble a little bit. That really is just a great 3-on-5 from Mad Lions, and Innocent in particular going, trying to find that pick. He picks up the AWP and he pushes Squeaky Door, and just a couple of really nice frags for the man. Look, it wasn't, you know, the best 5-on-3 I've ever seen from Complexity, but at the same time, they didn't do anything glaringly wrong there. Mad Lions making some big plays. Innocent. And now Acor off angle on top of the warehouse. Picks off Config. The push from Roy. They're looking to send it into the second OT here, Jordan.
I think they might be on the precipice of doing that. 3-on-5. Someone's going to have to dig deep now for Complexity. Very similar to what we saw for Mad Lions last round. But Roy's got the read. Poison. He's going to find a player at his back. In the meanwhile, he's lost his 2 teammates. Acor's going bananas with the AWP in this round, and that is as clean as a whistle for Mad Lions. Once again, they're going to push it through to overtime. Complexity 2 match points in the OT, 2 in regulation time as well. How many can they get away with? You know, it's a question for both sides. How many times can Mad Lions bring it back? And for Complexity, how many times can they let Mad Lions back into this game before Mad Lions actually come out ahead?
This is such a sick game of Nuke, man. I'm loving this. Alright. Well, this time it's a wall of smoke across outside for Complexity. The push closed from Roy. He's hearing the footsteps and he's found the gap in the smoke. Spams Config straight through it, and now Complexity, you can hear them rushing down warehouse if you're Acor in.
Oh, that's not an easy aim duel to win if you blame him, especially not against the scoped rifle. Shoes posted on the exact line that he needs to be. Obo's pegged one back, and Poison definitely waiting for someone to make a mistake by dropping down the ladder, but he's not going to get it.
Rush trying to open things up towards outside. He's actually caught a decent timing on Acor now. But Acor, I would love to see a replay of that shot. Good reaction from the man, and now Innocent with the cover from heaven. He's really warming up here for Mad Lions, the new pickup.
19-18, Mad Lions start off OT2. This is going to be it, Pilsy.
Innocent making some plays here, Jordan. You love to see it. Couldn't get these Polish teams to work, but Sprout and now a little bit Mad Lions showing us that, you know, plug and play a few of them.
Yeah, there's definitely some solid talent from the Polish region. Ecol's going to go very quick down the pen.
Mad Lions had a really good read that last round. This time, much less info for them. Config's made it in towards Secret, but Acor.
Oh, the shoulder. Almost every day of the week, you think that's going the way of Acor.
Yeah, it was just a good awareness there from Config. Not overcommitting. And he keeps himself alive. And that's great for Complexity, because they invested so much utility in getting him there, but Asilian rolling around into windows. Now it's just Complexity trying to hit this sharp timing out of door.
Oh, it's going to be rough indeed. Shusto does drop Blame F again with the critical entry, but open to Annex, and Acor is going to punish him for that. Trades are going on at the moment. They're favoring neither team. It's a 2-on-2. Poison's watching the Annex line, really waiting for Acor to peek through. But he needs to be careful. He's quite low, actually, so doesn't want to cop one of those shots from Acor, spamming through.
Acor's got himself a smoke. Handful of flashes for Complexity.
Oh, it's onto Poison now, 1-on-2. Has to do something pretty magical here. Peeks the left side, hasn't seen too much, and you start to get the sense that the timing is perhaps going to get the better of him here. Mad Lions looking for it. The peek comes through, and that's huge! Poison's done it. He's put Complexity through to 19-19. That's a big clutch in a big moment.
No room for error, but he doesn't need any.
It was almost a no-scope.
Instantly quick scopes him.
Honestly,
You just love watching these AWPers that are just so well practiced and so talented that they have just such a perfect sense for where the middle of their screen is.
that's instinct,
Where's going to
really.
be an accurate quick scope. It's just solid crosshair placement. I mean, I don't know if you can call it that when you don't have that crosshair there with the AWP, but you know what I mean. Either way, Complexity, left side wall of smoke's invested very quickly from them.
Well, an aggressive play from Roy through the smoke is going to actually end up going 1-for-1. That probably benefits Complexity for now, but Obo is trying to get a bit cheeky here as well. Smoke's going to fade, but maybe not favorably for him. A 2-on-1 duel, and he's kind of locked inside of a pretty awkward situation now. Might just be able to get himself out of hot water, and he does. But I think this round largely depends on what happens for Obo here. Config, in the meanwhile, does open up onto Asilian. Poison catches A-Core. Patience from Complexity pays off.
That was a critical kill in lower there from Config. Finds Asilian. That makes Complexity's options just almost limitless in the positions that they're in. They're very much just walking around the map trying to find the right timings, and they're finding all of them. Poison. It's 2 for him in this round. He's on for the 40.
4-on-1 for Shush. This will be a toughie to win, but Poison almost lines up for him. And he's given the frag over. It's 2-on-2 at the moment. Bombs in Annex. 2-on-1 even. Complexity have a lot of ground to cover. Surely not. No, you can't throw this round away. It was a 1-on-4, Pilski. And he's got to get the bomb down now, Rush. Where does he go? Down to B. It's a wise choice. But this is way too close. This should never have happened. It should never have gotten to this point.
Well, it has. Shush coming down the vent very quickly. Rush going to try and use that off angle.
This can go so wrong. Shush isn't quite going to win it. Oh my word.
Should never have gotten to that point whatsoever.
Rush.
I was praising Complexity earlier for not really making too many mistakes and still losing a 3-on-5. That was the complete, or 5-on-3 rather. That was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
They put themselves in an excellent position, like 4-on-1, and then just peeking Shush individually.
I think Rush is going to have some choice words for a few of his teammates there. But he gets it over the line in the end, and Complexity are now off of that danger side. I almost feel like the T side has been a bit of a struggle for them in the overtime so far. So they're back to maybe the comfort of the CT side.
A-Core almost burns to death there. Needs to be careful. He doesn't lose his life. He's been a very key player for Mad Lions. Also on the CT side, but also a couple key players on that T side. It's more so Roy that I've got my eye on for Mad Lions. He's been the main man making plays in these slower rounds.
A lot of damage already done in this round, and Blame again steps up early on in the piece. One player down, it's Shush. Obo playing the crossfire angle, and that's perfection from Complexity. He couldn't have asked for a better round to start the CT side off, and once again, Pilski.
2 match points.
Well, hang on, let's hold the horses, because that 1-on-4 was too close. Not prepared to call the 1-on-5 till it's over, but you're right, that's what I was going for. 2 match points for Complexity.
Just get it done. Just get it in there. Easier said than done, though,
This
Mad
is now
Lions.
6 match points that they will have had.
63 frags in 2 maps. As we say here in Australia, not bad. Good
Not
size.
bad. Not bad.
Good amount of frags. All right, Mad Lions. Once again, got to dig into the playbook. Come up with something that's going to work. That's a good start. A-Core. Like I said, you know, Poison's having a fantastic map, but you can't count out A-Core in that AWP v AWP duel.
Yeah, 32 and 30.
He could take it against some of the best in the world.
Obo's in a nice spot, avoiding the flash, but he doesn't actually connect the shot, so it's all for naught, really. Has to back away here. Does help Blame out, though, with a good flash of his own. In the end, he overcommits to it, the fight on ramp, and in the end, it's all still even Steven. Config, very quick down to Decon, has stopped Mad Lions in their tracks.
For the time being. Still got Roy at the back of lobby. He's going to have a key fight with Rush and potentially Blame, who are sizing up this lobby position. Config being left alone to listen out on that outers, or on the unders bomb site rather. And now you're seeing Complexity get a little bit more active, try to take some control of ramp, but Roy very quickly in response follows Rush in towards Radio, finds a nice timing. But Mad Lions, I think they're going to commit to lower. Roy's just here making noise, and he's solved the rotation. Both of these Complexity players convinced it's upper. But are Mad Lions rotating off lower?
Config,
They are.
He might get the timing here, has been spotted by Roy, just decides to back off, and again, that's going to change the direction that they're going to go. Mad. Oh.
Config doesn't even know what's happening. He's just running up and down this ladder this entire round.
18 seconds. Bomb plant should go down on B. Should be all good for Mad Lions.
Oh, you say that. Can try and isolate this 1-on-2. Jumps across the line, cops the leg, and that's going to be it.
Oh, 20 to 21.
Oh, Mad
Mad
Lions.
Lions.
They give me a heart attack, Jordan.
I think they're giving Complexity a heart attack.
They can't decide where they want to go in this mid to late round. It's like Mad Lions, they kind of get hung up on like, what's the highest percentage play? They've got like a 60 to 70% play that's going to work, and then they're like, oh, but that 75% play, nah, let's turn around, let's run.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that other one, and then they just keep changing their mind. They're like, oh, not sure this is the 100% play. Just make a decision, boys. Just choose something.
Well, still one more map point to play with for Complexity. So they've had 5. Will it be the 6th that gets them over the line here to find a 2-0 against Mad Lions today?
They're going to go for this outers control. Mad Lions. Poison shut this down before. Nicely timed flash puts him off the line, but he's found another angle.
Really sets himself for that shot as well. You could see how much that meant to him to find that initial pick. Also sending the rest of Complexity down into the B bomb side, or at least Obo's gotten there quickly, which catches Shush off guard. That might just be it, ladies and gentlemen. A double kill for Obo. Poison 2 in the round as well, and it's just Innocent. He's stepped up in the overtime, but can't manage it now. And that is going to be that. Complexity 22-20 on Nuke. A very hard-fought victory, which gives them